Well, hello there. Excuse me. We're getting a little late getting started here. Screenshot there, Wes. And so we're here we are. Another live stream, and thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in. And we're going to talk about some good things today. What I don't know. So that song was called The Night Has a Thousand Eyes. If you can see it right here, it's available at theguitarcollegelibrary.com. And that is a fun tune to play with. Whoops. Got we got a lot going on here. Anyway, that particular song is a lot of fun to play with. There's a lot of big tonalities in it, you know, G tonality, you know. And then it goes D minor to C, C minor, a turnaround into G. And then it goes B flat tonality, and then A flat, and then G, B minor, E, and A. Anyway, it's a fun song. So if you get a chance, you got to look it up. So let me get my, this is our schedule of what is happening today. You know what, we're going to start off before we introduce everybody who's watching, and I want to thank everybody for watching. We're going to talk about this wonderful thing that you can get at the dollar store. It's a pool noodle, right? You know what? These things are really cool, and for a number of things, and I'll show you. Number one, check this out. I have several of these in my studio, and basically I just cut a hole there. You don't have to cut it out like this. It'll shape itself. But it's great for putting against a desk or anything. I don't know, Wes, can you get this shot or not?
Yeah.
So you put it against a desk like that, and then you can take your guitar and just lean it against there, and it's really pretty solid. It's not going to go and it's not going to slip. So that's one of the things I like it for. Another thing is, check this out. See this over here at the amp? I've made a little holder that fits in the amp there. Let me show it to you. And it takes you about 3 minutes to do this. Basically, all you're doing is you get yourself a razor blade and cut out the part that's going to fit in the handle. And this is the part the guitar is going to go between. You can go a little deeper with this and a little deeper with that to make it a little more secure. And then what do you got? You got bibbly boppily doo. Put that into your amp. Let me shut this heater out. And boom. You know, it's pretty stable compared to just leaning it against your amp. Now, another thing you can do, you see this here? I use these all the time for packing a guitar. This part here, when you lay a guitar in its case, there's generally a little slack where it's moving around. If so, you can put this in there. See right there like that. And then the case comes down, the top of the case, secures it right there so the guitar is not going to bounce around. And the guitar is protected should a pile of bricks fall in the case in the box. This will absorb the hit. I also sometimes put it around a knob, a little one, you know, and I'll put them under the pick guard so the pick guard doesn't get broken. Gives some stability to the pick guard. So when you do make these and you get all these little parts like this, you can stuff these under there for shipping. Works really good. So these little pool noodles are great little deals for a lot of different things. So I'm sure you can find some more things to do with them. Okay, there's our little 2-minute tip today, and today only. Okay, who's here? Tom from Connecticut. Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us. Pipe Cat, Ride the Wave. You must be a surfer. Andrew, good morning, Andrew. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. Gail's with us, and she is going to be working the message board as well as Wes is doing the camera stuff. And if you like what he does, by the way, it'd be nice if you gave him a tip. Let me give you a tip. Okay. And so, Wes, do you have news today?
Yeah, I have a couple stories.
You also have a blank camera.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, good. I hope you get that camera.
I do have a story about Gibson. They just got into a whole new business. Gibson just got into a whole new industry.
Oh, really? So it's not music. Because I think they bought Steinway at one time, or some other stuff, Thomas organs, or they own several things like that.
Yeah, no, this is not any of those. Doesn't have a lot to do with music.
Huh. Well, that'll be interesting. We'll have to wait and see that.
Yeah, pretty interesting, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely a good idea by Gibson. So. We'll
good.
Tell you about that soon.
So finally, they have a good idea.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to cost anyone $1 million either. So.
Well, that's good.
At least, I don't know. We'll see.
Can you think of anybody that's been ripped off more than Gibson and Fender? I can. Chuck Berry. All right. Let's see. Mick Mac, how you doing? And Rodan 1. I'm Canadian but live in Switzerland. Oh, nice. So is it freezing there? We just had the storm here in Central California on the coast, the central coast of California. That was just unbelievable. Jim Rolfe, how you doing, Jim? Thanks for joining us. Dixieland Jazz, just across the bridges. Boy, I have to read some of that thing. Jazz pool noodles. Yes, these are jazz noodles. And you can play them too. Whatever. But they're pretty good. And really, you go to the dollar store. Well, now the dollar store is $1.25. And you can pick these up, and it's really good. Carlos Campos, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Wait a minute, what are we talking about? Love Switzerland. Oh, Jung Fu is amazing. Bern is so cool. I'd love to go there. Why don't you put on a guitar show, or why not come in and we'll do a guitar seminar. Patrick Evans, hello, Pat. This okay, we're talking. Oh, hi, Jim, and we're looking at this guitar. Okay, people are talking, and this is that guitar that I wanted to show you. But this is a 2012 575. Now, I have never put this on the website. I had sold it to a fella, and so when I got it, he had been looking for one for a long time, and I got this one, and I took some pictures of it, and he bought it, and that was I want to say a few months ago. He took beautiful care of it, but unfortunately, the fella has become sick with a stroke, and I've been praying for him, and I hope he makes a full recovery. But he says, I don't think I'll ever be able to play again, and so I was able to get this back and offer it up again. And it's a beautiful guitar. I've raised the pickup rings off the top. I had to shave the bridge. This is what I did a long time ago. But last night when I got it and I was changing strings, I thought, man, the nut was never really fitted correctly. So I had to do some a little work on the nut. And now it plays like butter, baby. And it's got that sound, that beautiful sound. This is an all-solid guitar, solid maple top, sides and back, Seth Lever pickups. I like this tailpiece. It's got a little more mass than the tailpiece they're using now. I think a little more mass is always a good thing. So now you can plug it in down here instead of where your strap is. I like that better. This particular one is a rosewood fretboard with a solid mahogany neck, and it's got just a nice, beautiful sound, doesn't it? I mean, come on, what do you want? So anyway, we're going to offer this puppy up. What was I going to show you? Let's do a quick little lesson. All right, we're going out of sequence here, but I wanted to show you this thing. It's a chord lick. I like to call them chord licks. And what we're going to do is we're going to take and use this as an ending or an intro. And we've done this before with some other things. But this is a very simple idea. If I'm in a key of E flat, do we want to do E flat, or is that too complicated? If you're a jazzer, you play an E flat. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play this voicing here. And what it is an E flat major 7. And so I've got B flat, E flat, G, D. And then I'm going to go up to a sixth. I don't care who you are. This guitar sounds sweet. Isn't that, Wes? Wow. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the chords, E flat. Then I'm going to slide it up a minor third, and I'm going to play G flat. Now I'm going to go across the strings, and I'm going to play a B major 7. And that looks like this. And then I'm going to play an E flat major 7. No, a B major 7. I'm sorry. Then I'm going to play an E major, E natural. And that will resolve now to a E flat. So I've got this. Whoop. I could resolve it any way like that. You see how that works? So it works great as an ending. Let's say, we're playing Christmas songs, right? Merry Christmas to. Okay, so it works great as an intro or ending or as an intro. Whoop. Hear it? Okay, so there is our little chord lick. Now I've got several of these chord licks on the webpage, and so if that intrigues you, check it out. All right. Where are we at, Wes? Do we have any questions? Remember, this is your live stream, you know.
Yeah,
It's
ask
not
questions.
mine. Ask questions, please.
There is a question, though, from Carlos Campos, who asks, Rich, could you recommend some very cheap archtop guitar, something less than $400?
Well, I guess the Ibanez probably is the way to go. Less than $400, the Ibanez.
Ibanez Art Core.
Yeah. I think thereabouts about the only one you're going to get, don't you think, Wes? I don't know how much art.
What am I, like an Epiphone Broadway or something, right?
They're more than that.
Are they?
Yeah, they're like 8,000. You know.
Yeah, 8,000.
8,000, yes, for the original. Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some cheap ones out there.
There are. You know, on eBay, sometimes there's this manufacturer from China. I've been thinking about getting one of these, but they advertise them really cheap. They're like $3.95 or something. But they come from you got to wait for them from Japan or something.
What's the brand?
I don't know. It's Firefly or some weird brand. I don't know what they are. But you'll see them. They're new. But I tell you, you know, they're not. You're not gonna.
Harley Benton. There's a bunch of different ones on here. Grote.
Wow. That looks kind of cool.
I don't know. They're probably all made by the same manufacturer.
Yeah, they are, like that Samick, and what's the other one? The other huge one called manufacturer over there.
Peerless.
Well, no. World something.
Ibanez Art Core.
Oh, now there's
350.
Yeah,
So
that's
probably
not bad.
Can't really go wrong with that. I mean,
yeah, you know, you get something like that, and
at least it's got a name kind of recognition there.
Then you've got one that you can take to the beach when you get a good one, you know. So whatever.
We should try out one of these Godin Fifth Avenue.
I've played those and I like them.
Aren't they made in Canada?
Yeah, they're made in Canada. Yeah. I've played them. They're kind of bare bonesy, but that's okay.
Or this, you know, if you got a little extra money, $150 more, this Guild Starfire.
Yeah, but that's more like a 335.
Got it.
So yeah, they're out there. You can get them.
Yeah, why didn't probably go to like a local shop and see what they have at the shop and see which one feels the best, right?
Well, that's just it. You want to determine which size guitar do you want, you know, body depth and lower bout depth. You know, this is 16-inch. This Heritage over here is 17. 1 inch makes a big difference because it's also longer this way. I always played 16-inch, and then I got a 17-inch, and then I started liking that. Not only that I like the sound and everything, but you know, it just feels good. So find what feels the best to you, and then go from there. And then, I don't know. That's a tough one. So even though you get something, you know, really cheap, you might, I mean, I don't know. You don't, everyone is different. You got to, you know, mess with the frets, mess with the nut, mess with the pickup height, which that's easy. Mess with the bridge. So, you know, There's a few things in there. It's not like, yeah, never mind.
Here's another question for you. From Wait a Minute 72. Rich, had you ever crossed paths with Anita O'Day? I've been listening to and watching a lot of her stuff on YouTube. She was the best.
She was. No, I never have. No, I'd like to, but no. Let's see. No, there's a piano player in town around here who used to play with Carmen McRae, but it's kind of close. But, yeah, so no, I haven't.
And then John Dahl asks what wireless system we're using to connect the guitar to the amp. That's this X-Vive thing here.
Yeah, it's right here. X5. See that? Yeah, Wes has got focusing on it.
That's the receiver right there into the mixing board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Couldn't be easier to use.
So there is a saying, buy once, cry once. Sometimes what happens is we go through, do it again and do it again and do it again. And in the process, you spend a lot of money. Some guys, Wes Montgomery's perfect example. The first guitar he got was an L5. That's the way I heard it. He went to a guitar store and said, "What's the best guitar you can buy?" And they said an L5. And so, okay. All right. So, but you didn't have. What does that mean? Chips of the TV show? Yes, with Eric Estrada.
I don't know what that means.
What, Chips? You never saw that show?
Well, yeah, I know what that means, but I don't know what he means.
Oh. By the way, I had here's my big movie song career. I had 2 songs in an Eric Estrada movie. It was called Lost Riders or Last Riders, something like that. Motorcycle Gang, Eric Estrada movie, yeah. I made exactly this much.
Sounds like it was a good one.
Sounds like what?
Sounds like it was a good one.
Yeah. Actually, who knows? Maybe, yeah. No.
Maybe there's some lost royalty checks out there that just...
Yeah, maybe. Are Jazz Cants amp recommended? Yeah, those are Jazz Cant amps recommended. Yes, I've seen one up for sale, but I understand it's hard to get parts now that they are no longer made. Yeah, I don't know. I would think that those parts, a good tech could find parts for that. It's not like they reinvented the capacitor or the pot. Right, it's all the combinations of the things. So I can't see for a small company like that something was specifically made for them. So I don't think that would be a problem if you have a good tech. But get yourself the Quilter Aviator Cub, and you get it from me. It's nice amp. Okay. The Lore. Now I've seen those Lore guitars and I think, God, those are pretty. I played a couple and I thought, but whatever, So I don't know. Anything else on here, Wes?
You can't see.
Hey, that's Tom Orator there. Yeah. Tom, this is Tom's guitar. Great to see you. Thanks for the recommendation. Ed Beckert had it right. Playing a telly? Whatever. Ted played a telly. They're, I had a Telecaster for a long time, and when I finally got it, when I got a Gibson, it was all over with. I was done. I hear they're making Harmony guitars in the same building as Heritage. You are correct on that. I don't know if they're really being made there. The company called Band Labs bought Heritage. Band Labs is a big company of some kind of software. They bought, they own, the guy who owns that also owns Rolling Stone magazine, half of that. And he bought Harmony. So you got the Harmony amps, Harmony guitars. There's a couple other companies he bought. Heritage, of course. So Heritage is owned by the Chinese, half by the Chinese and half by a Canadian company. So I guess it's in between. But he's got American. They have the same guys working for him, you know, except the old guys retired, you know. But it's been passed down on how they build them. They're building them just as good as they ever did, I think. You just can't get any variations. Which reminds me, let's take a look at this guitar here. This is my 575. And this one I'm going to sell for $400. Not. This was made for me when I first got with Heritage. David Becker, fantastic jazz guitarist, got me hooked up with them. And because I had admired these guitars for a long time. So they sponsored me. And that's when the company took off. I'd like to think that. But at this point, you could get your guitar made any way you want. So I wanted a completely bound. I wanted it all bound. I said, I got to have inlays, otherwise I can't teach with it. And I want a 5-piece neck. You can't get, it's very rare to see a 5-piece neck on a 575. So I got that, and then I got this almond color, bright almond. I forget what the color is. Shallower pickups, and I wanted this bridge, tunematic bridge. I wanted a fingered tailpiece. And when I got it, it came to me with the pickguard broken. And so I mended it back together. And then when I went back to see them, they gave me another one, as well as fixed that one. So that's why when you ship a guitar, you put stuff under the pickguard. Ebony pickguards are fragile, man. They're not plastic, so they break. So now I'm looking at this guitar, and you know how I use a medicine bottle with a sponge in it and holes in the top to make a humidifier? Well, I do that, but now it's been raining, and it's time to get them out of there. If you're in the Midwest or something and it's cold and you're running your heater all the time and it's dry in your house and you're getting chapped lips, leave it in there. If it's raining out here on the coast, I need to get it out of here because I can see it's got a little too much humidity. The problem with guitars is the wood wants the humidity, but the metal wants the dryness. So it's all mixed up. So anyway, this is mine. I'll probably never sell this. This is really great. I had also gotten a Heritage Eagle. And I was just watching a video of me playing it this morning. I don't know why I sold that thing. Oh, yes, I do. I was going to get a regular Eagle because that one, again, was customized. And I thought, well, I'm playing things that nobody else can get. And I thought, that's not really fair, you know, to representation. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't know. Hold on, I gotta put this over here. Put this over here. It's a juggling act.
So, is that? Does this one have what? One piece neck or what's?
No, a 5-piece.
No, the other one.
Yeah, 1-piece mahogany, like a 175. A mahogany neck is. And they were saying when I took this back, how can I darken this guitar up, because it's pretty bright. The neck makes it bright. Ebony fretboard makes it bright. It's very bright. So this is mahogany with rosewood, which is a darker sound. But anyway, I've learned to deal with that guitar. Band Labs owns Cakewalk. That's interesting. I wonder what it's like to buy and sell companies. I wonder if it's like buying and selling guitars. You know, it's kind of a trip, isn't it? People do that.
Are you gonna play us? Let's do a comparison of those two.
All right. All right. Let me play. Let me switch this because I'm gonna play a tune from the Instant Christmas thing, which, and I'm gonna do Let It Snow. But Wes, I gotta change this thing.
All right.
And then we'll play it on the other one after a while, or whatever.
Did you answer Tom's question about harmony guitars?
What did he say?
He said, Rich, I hear they're making harmony guitars
Yeah.
in the same building as Heritage. You did see that?
Yeah, I did.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Mick Mac says there is a very cool brand from Japan, King Snake.
Wow. I like that.
King Snake. He has a 330 model, and it's very good.
King Snake.
King Snake is one of the cooler looking snakes, I would have to say, in the snake.
Oh yeah, there was one over here on the park, right over here on this street. You know,
Run over?
no, he was just sitting there enjoying the heat. We used to have a lot of snakes. Well, we used to live. One year, the last year we lived there, I think I killed 9 rattlesnakes. I know you should let them live and move them to their own little habitat, but they're an endangered species. At my house, they are. And Wes, remember that one you caught with a fishing pole?
Yeah. I reeled it in and smashed a rock on it.
It was a big one.
It was huge.
It was a huge
like
king snake.
Rattlesnake.
Yeah, rattlesnake under the
16
rock.
rattles or something on that baby. It was big.
Yeah, he took his fishing pole, hooked him, and drug him out.
It was just stuck under this rock on this trail that we always walked on, and we had to get it out of there. Now that I think about it, we probably should have just left it alone.
Why? So it can have babies. You know that they have. I just found this out that they can have 2 litters of babies a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You know, they have 9 at a time. You want 18 more snakes crawling around? Sorry, I sure don't.
I mean, they don't mess with you unless you mess with them, so it's not like they're out biting you and they're aggressive.
Well, the guy across the street, his little kid, his little grandson, 2 years old, was out on their patio and he was reaching behind something, and there was one there and bit him. Took him to the hospital. He was in the hospital for a little while.
Yeah, that's scary.
Okay. Let's see. What are some of these other ones up here? The Last Riders. I'm about to watch it. Thanks. That's what it's called, The Last Riders. Let me know what you think. One of there's two songs. He Ain't Nothing But a Heartache and Don't Leave Me Loving You in there. Oh, boy, I'm talking a lot and not saying anything. Okay, let's play Let It Snow from Instant Christmas. Here's the track, Wes. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can I raise it in here? Here we go. That
right.
tempo, doesn't it make you feel? That tempo doesn't it? Hey Wes, hit the camera. Doesn't that make you feel like tap dancing? Oh, that's so funny. Boy, a lot of people are talking on here, and I like it. By the way, I saw Gail had written the J Tercer. Those are nice guitars. I mean, you know, they are what they are. And also the Greg Bennett. I think he
Well,
Bennett.
that's Samick,
That's
right?
Sam, yeah, Greg Bennett, but it's his design. You know, those are really nice.
That last guitar sounds pretty dark. It's pretty.
Really?
There's not a lot of brightness to it.
Really? I thought it was perfect.
At least going through this board and in my headphones, it's.
I like dark. It certainly is easy. It's a lot easier to brighten a guitar than it is to darken it.
Yeah.
By the way, these are the Diodario tuners. Look at that. I tuned this up 10 years ago and it still is in tune. What did I shut this off? Sounds pretty close, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I don't want to play the same song. Should I play it?
Just play it for a second.
All right. Whoop.
All right, rap.
Enough of that.
Rap.
That's a rap.
They do sound really similar though. Which one do you like better?
I like them both. I don't know.
What's going on with the truss rod cover on that one?
You
decide that was one of your custom features. You're like, I don't want a truss rod.
I don't, man. I'm so sick of taking those little screws off and adjusting it. So you gotta adjust your guitar. So you gotta do that. That's just the way it is. So I don't know. I like them both. This has more bells and whistles, I guess. But I'm just noticing this string. I saw a comment on here. If you put a whole rattlesnake in your guitar bit, you'd play faster. Patrick, is that your attempt at humor? Anything else on here?
Yeah, there's some interesting question or comments you missed. Grayson.
Grayson, how you doing?
So he was thinking about getting that fret job
Oh, yeah.
on his X170. So he says, I broke down and had GC level crown polish the frets on the X170 for a good price. Guitar Center. Happy with the job and not having to pay the Palo Alto price. Because remember, he was about to pay. They quoted him $500, I believe.
Right.
And everyone kind of thought that was a little expensive.
Yeah.
But then probably appropriate for Palo Alto since it's. Whew.
That's true. Yeah. I just took my two guitars, that Dwayne Eddy and the Stratford 350 in 1955. I took it into my guy, Doug, in Fresno, and he is going to do new frets on both. I don't like the low frets. It drives me nuts. I had that, my L4, I had the frets replaced on. I was just curious.
Yeah, so it says level crown and polish the frets. Guitar Center. How much did that cost then from Guitar Center? That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, that is.
Wait a minute, 72 has a great comment here. He says, Rich, yesterday I had a luthier do a phenomenal setup job on my 2021 Les Paul Standard. I had him use the custom set strings I bought from you. Wow, they really make that Les Paul sound incredible.
Really? Wow, that's cool.
See, I'm telling you, we need to do that video, man.
The one with your Les Paul?
My Epiphone Les Paul Studio. Can it be good for jazz?
Okay. I like Les Paul standards. I've only had one in my lifetime, and I ended up selling it to one of my students who's playing with Frankie Valli now. But it was nice, but I just, at the time, it's like, what do I need this for? And that's probably the same thing I would say now. Okay, so I did not lose my truss rod cover. I know exactly where it is. If you blind me, I can't tell the sound apart. But I bet you can see the second guitar through their blindfold.
What Jay Fender asked, what is the nut width on that? Those
1
guitars?
11/16.
Same on both, right?
Yeah. And I got a guitar with, that 125 that we have, that one with the cutaway, and it's a fat body. That one has a 1 11 and 5/8. And I asked the guy that's doing the fret job to put on that nut with, string spacing, 1 5/8 instead of 11/16 on those guitars. So that'll be interesting, because I've always thought about doing that. You got a little more room on the edge of the fretboard, so then that's fine with me. You know what I mean? So this string is going to be in just up a little bit. It'll be like, instead of here, it'll be here. So. And he thought, oh, that's great. Yeah, I love doing that, because you can get the guitar to play better that way, because you don't have this curvature there, so anyway. So he's down for it. So see how I said down for it instead of up for it?
I'm down, man.
Down.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. Garrett said that he remembers playing that 575 at jazz camp when you had it one year. He loved it.
Did I have it at jazz camp? I know I've had several over the years. I don't know if it's this one, but maybe it was. Yeah, maybe I need to put on heavier strings on my Telecaster to get a more jazzy sound like that. I did move the pickup much closer to the string, and that helped. Craig, I raised the pickups. Yeah. So, Ted Green, he had very heavy strings, and he tuned his guitar down to D flat. So that's why the guitar sounds so fat, and plus he hollowed out his telly. So underneath that pickguard is hollow. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Tim Scarro said that this one had a little more pop. I would say that too. That the lighter 575 was
A little more pop.
little something extra on it compared to the other one. Kirby has a request here. Any chance you can play What Child Is This?
Oh boy, I haven't prepared that, but there's part of it. Then there's I forgot the bridge too. That was in D minor there. Let's see. This out of a Mel Bay book once, like 100 years ago. And I have a jazz version of the song. Something like that. We'll do that song later on.
Don't you have what your Blue Christmas? Is that your jazz? The jazz one.
Yeah. Hey, hit the camera angle.
The that is Do you have tracks for that?
Yeah.
Like backing tracks? You should play some of those.
Yeah, I do.
Because those are super cool.
Yeah, I do have that. Yeah.
Can they buy that album online?
No.
Is it on Spotify?
Oh, yes. Oh, you can. It's on iTunes too.
Yeah, that is seriously a good.
That is, yeah. Thank you.
It's a good album.
Yeah, I forget how we did that. I'll check it out. I got to work on that. I just can't jump up there and do it.
Yeah, you should play because it sounds probably awesome with the tracks.
Oh, That's a great little album. I think it is.
I think it's one of the most interesting jazz, or at least Christmas albums that I've heard. Just because it's not super Christmassy, you know. It's like it's got some jazz in there.
Yeah,
it's not just the melody of the songs like going over and over. You go into all these soloing parts that are different, and then come back to the melody. So that's good for sure.
Thank
You
you
should definitely play some of those next week.
Okay, we'll do that next week. Is Thomas still here?
I don't know.
Well, anyway. Yeah, this guitar here, got a quiet inquiry about it. This thing is sure pretty. That's a real pretty guitar.
Craig has your version. He learned your version of What Child Is This a while back, but he says he doesn't get the sound of the bass line as much as you.
Oh, well, that's cool. Love Green Sleeves by the Oscar Peterson's got a wonderful version of that, of What Child. Let's see. Anyway, we'll have to work that out. So this is a golden eagle. Although it's red, it's a red eagle. I was going to play, here's a nice fingerstyle tune for Christmas. And it's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And I can play this now. Or do you want to do the news, Wes? We've been into this thing an hour and you haven't done the news yet. You want to do the news now?
Sure.
Let's do the news, Wes. Do the news.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Rich, do you use the bridge pickup?
No.
Nope. Just
It's just a pile of metal there. I've often thought I'd like to just completely take the magnets out of them. Never mind.
all right. I do have some guitar news for you guys here. Last Saturday, last Saturday, I believe, was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Yeah.
So there was, of course, tons of people playing very, very expensive guitars, old guitars on stage. With all the big names that show up to those things. Mm-hmm. But Dolly Parton was not one of those people with a expensive guitar on the stage. She actually chose to play a guitar that costs around $100 on stage at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What was it?
Here it is. You see her here. This is her with, it's a Mitchell MM100. It's a modest mini scale model. The little guitar she used to play one of her new songs, which is called Rockin'. The guitar has a scale of only 22.5.
Boy, that's smaller than a Birdland.
Yeah, so they're tiny. There's a better look at it. The one you see, so So these guitars are being sold at Guitar Center right now. The base model is only $100, $99.99. It's just kind of a basic, tiny little electric guitar, bolt-on neck, couple of pickups, nothing too special. You could see that Dolly's, the one that she's playing, has a custom paint job on it. It's all blinged out. I believe those are like crystals all over it. So hers, of course, with the paint job, makes hers a little more valuable, but there's not a whole lot more to it. Here's kind of a closer look at it.
That scale length cracks me up.
Yeah, it's pretty small. So apparently, that little Mitchell electric guitar might be getting a lot more playing time, because apparently, in honor of her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Parton at 76 years old will be writing and recording a full-fledged rock album.
Cool.
So she's set her sights on recruiting some big names to help her out. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, to name a couple.
Wow.
So that should be pretty interesting to hear what she comes up with. Yeah, she just wants to do her induction justice and play some rock tunes, not country. So could be pretty cool. Would be really interested to hear a couple of the songs.
I'm surprised she's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I can't think of one rock song. What is she? She's got 9 to 5 was a crossover, and Islands in the Stream. But I wouldn't call those rock tunes, would you?
No, but I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame isn't all. It's they just call it that. It's pretty much, I think, at this point, like the like popular musicians Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
it's like, I don't know. It's like jazz festivals. All
Right.
the players at a jazz festival these days aren't jazz. They're all like Willie Nelson. Okay, he's playing a jazz festival. Like, so I that's how I kind of liken the.
That's right. We talked about
the
that,
jazz, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Dolly Parton though has this isn't the first time she's used a pretty cheap guitar. She has this customized Samick Greg Bennett Malibu Series Strat. So the base model of this guitar is only like $85.
How come she does that?
I don't know, but I like the story because she's not a guitar player. So why does she need like a 1965 Telecaster or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's not up there playing the guitar. It's all for looks. She's
Right.
not. That guitar is probably not even plugged in, to be really honest with you. And so I think it's pretty cool that she's not pulling, taking some vintage, really expensive vintage guitar, which she could probably afford.
Probably.
Again, she just doesn't even play guitar. So why not just give her a cheap, sparkly guitar and say, here you go. So I like it because that leaves the vintage guitar for an artist who would actually play it and appreciate it,
Sure.
That's what I think. So.
That's interesting.
So
Plus, she doesn't then, her endorsement, it's like an endorsement when you play a guitar.
right.
So she's endorsing a low-lying guitar, which might give more access to young folks playing guitar.
Right. Yeah, they were saying that that the guitar will obviously see a spike in
Yeah.
sales just from that one performance for sure. That's happened before.
Right, yeah.
All right. I got another story for you here. So we have
Put the camera on you.
I know. We have talked about Slash several times here on
Yes.
We Love Slash.
And Slash has that wonderful commercial.
Right, the Geico commercial that he's in for sure. But anyway, in a recent interview, he shed some light on his earliest days of learning to play guitar and explained the method his first guitar teacher used to keep him motivated. So Slash says that he first wanted to play bass, and he only switched to wanting to play guitar after his teacher, who's named Robert Wolin, played some Cream songs for him.
Oh, nice.
And then so then Slash went out and bought a guitar that like a beat up guitar that only had one string on it. Yeah. And so he says, quote, Wolin taught me to put the other 5 strings on it, and then he started giving me what you'd call rudimentary lessons on guitar, where you use a little book and you use notation and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was really tedious and boring.
Mm-hmm.
And he says Wolin realized that. So he goes on and says, the teacher says, I'll tell you what, you pick a song that you really dig and I'll learn it for you and teach it to you at the end of every lesson. That way it'll keep you motivated. So Slash was like, okay. So he went and did that. He brought in a song, and I sat there and watched him listen to the song and play it and figure it out right then and there on guitar. And Slash was like watching him and just goes like, "Oh, dude, I can do that myself. Like that's how you can learn. That's how you learn songs on guitar." And so after he watched the guitar teacher learn the song and Slash kind of figured out what he was doing, he quit the guitar lessons and started just learning songs on his own after just watching his teacher do it one time.
Interesting.
So he also said, which is cool. Slash is seems like a pretty nice guy. He says that even after all these years and only very few lessons with this guy, he actually stayed in touch with him after all these years and all of his fame. He still still connects with him every now and again. So speaking of Slash, so this was what I was mentioning about Gibson at the top of the show was Gibson Guitars just started a brand new publishing company called Gibson Publishing, and they put out their first book with Slash, and it's called The Collection Slash, and it explores Slash's career through all his different guitars that he's had over the years. So this is Gibson's first book. So it's the first shot as Gibson Publishing, 364 pages. It's a coffee table book about coffee tables. So anyway, yeah, so that's how they're kind of branching into this whole new industry of books. They're going to apparently start putting more of these books out on different guitar players, on different iconic guitars. They ended up they did this long YouTube video about it with Slash showing some of his guitars. He's got a crazy collection of Les Pauls and stuff. And in this video here, Slash kind of talks about, some of the features on the guitar. A lot of stuff, same stuff that's in the book is on this video here from Gibson. And I mean, this is an extensive video. This thing is like an hour and 15 minutes long.
Wow.
So yeah, if you ever wanted to learn anything about Slash and his guitars, it's probably all in this video right here. And the book, I mean, the book is pretty cool, especially if they're going to keep making them about these guitars. I think it's a pretty good idea in terms of a coffee table book, because you don't have to be a guitar player to appreciate guitars. If you've heard of Slash or you've heard of...
Something just happened here.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
Oh. I don't know.
Can you stop clicking?
I didn't click it. It just went there. I really didn't
It's an update of VideoPad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it's a good idea. I think that, yeah, like I said, these can be on a coffee table, and even like a person who's
Sure.
never seen or played guitar, obviously knows what a guitar is, and they can thumb through it and be like, oh, Slash, I know Slash from Guns N' Roses. I mean, if they did, these books on big name people, like everyone's gonna. It's especially for a coffee table book, is perfect for killing time and just thumbing through. If there was one on the Beatles and all their guitars, or
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Eric Clapton or whoever, it
Right.
would be a pretty sweet book to have and just to look at, So I think Gibson's onto something here. That book probably costs $350, but
What?
No, I don't know. Maybe the USA model of the book costs.
Yeah. You can get it printed in the USA for $300, or in China for $8.95.
Right.
Okay. So.
But anyway, it's a big book, 364 pages. It's all color. So yeah,
they might as well make their own books, because so many books have been written about their stuff.
Right.
That why not do it and publish it yourself? Interesting.
See, like that. I mean, the book, it just looks
Beautiful
pretty.
book.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Like just quick little tidbits about the guitars and stuff. You don't have to sit there and read it cover to cover, but any page you flip to probably has some sort of interesting, little tidbit. Like, it doesn't look like there's that much to read on about these things, so it's probably. There you go. There's Double Trouble, right? That's a sweet guitar. So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty good idea by Gibson, and hopefully we see some other people. Maybe a jazz guy will get in there at some point.
Well, if it's the name that sells, what are you going to do to get the Tal Farlow book?
No, but you could maybe do. You could do like a BB King thing,
Yeah, BB, yeah.
Although his would only have one page, right? Because he just plays the.
Well, he played a 175 in the very beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So.
Yeah. So.
2 pages.
Two pages. BB King, man, he was so good. The best I ever heard him play was at his 70th, when he was 70 years old. He played a gig in Fresno. We went to see him. I couldn't believe this. I'm listening to BB King. Holy crap, man, he's just freaking wailing. So I was really impressed. That was very cool. Well, Gibson's into publishing. Why not? Nowadays, anybody can be in the publishing, and every guitar teacher is, right? Used to be a big deal to have your book published. Like when I had my books published, wherever they are. Okay. Yeah, see, here's Ted Green's book. Here's my book, but mine was was before this one. This one, yeah. But anyway, it was quite expensive for a publisher to put this book together, because all this stuff, a guy had to sit at a typewriter and do this. And I remember them doing that, and, it's a lot of work, man hours. And he had a crew of about, at one point, he had a crew of, I would say, 8 people. Well, including the office, probably 12, working that company and designing it and artwork and all that. So it was a major commitment by a publisher to put out a book. Nowadays, you just send your notes in to some guy and they can do it. Anyway, Pat Evans said it was his 85th. Well, it was his 85th, but I saw him when he turned 70. That was before. Surprisingly, all the guitars in the ABBA Museum in Stockholm, Sweden. Slash is awful. Slash is he's according to a friend of mine, he's a Van Nuys kid, a Valley guy, and just a regular kid. But he invented Slash, and it really worked for him.
Yeah, I mean, remember he played with Michael Jackson back in the day too for a couple things. Slash and Michael Jackson, that was awesome.
That was Eddie Van Halen.
Well, Slash did it too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Slash fits more in with Michael Jackson with his top hat and
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen was kind of just a normal looking guy. He never really got super flashy. Slash was like always wears those glasses,
Yeah.
He did make an image for him, so he like created a brand with
Right. It's all about your brand.
But man, he has a signature sound too. Yeah, I mean, you can always kind of pick out when there's a Slash solo, which that's not easy to do.
Yeah. Anybody who, I take my hat off to anybody who can make it. And it's no pun intended. If I had a hat, I'd take my hat off to anybody who can make headway in this business. So.
Even his he started another band called Velvet Revolver, and even those solos on that for them just was like, wow, that's definitely Slash playing guitar there for sure.
Really, I've never
he just
heard
got
that.
good flavorful solos for rock. Not too many. There's not an overload of notes.
Right.
On his stuff, just
not a lot of flashy. So Slash is not flash.
He's flashy, but he's not like it's not all just speed.
I see.
He just has a good selection of notes. Anyway, there is a question here from Manuel. Ever used a Charlie Christian pickup?
Not the real one. I had a Super 400 with one that was made with to fit in a humbucker hole. It was just a bar instead of the thing. So it wasn't the real Charlie Christian pickup. My friend Mitch Holder, he loves those pickups. I'm not that excited about them. Let's see. Any negative to putting Tune-o-matic on a 575? Does it impact the sound? Yes, it does. So I go back and forth between do I want a Tune-o-matic on it or a wooden one, and it depends on what kind of wooden one, and how it's cut, what it does to the string. So the Tune-o-matic is, it's metal. It's hard, really hard. You get a rosewood bridge, and a lot of ebony bridges, if you're don't know this for sure, are actually Tune-o-matic rosewood that have been stained. So let's play. Should we play another song or just call it quits?
Maybe play another song, and then let's. So we'll take one more song and take any last calls for questions here.
Well, I'm not going to do "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." I want to do something else. Then we'll do that later. Watch out! This might be loud. This is "Midnight Blue," a Kenny Burrell tune. I noticed Mark Larkin showed up. Hi, Mark. How you doing, bud? Mark was interested in this guitar for a minute. I was telling him, did you get to hear it in the beginning, Mark? Otherwise, I'll play it again. But he's got his heart set on a Herb Ellis 165, which I understand. You know, it's all about what you want. So anyway, so check out the very beginning of this broadcast, and you'll hear me playing that guitar. Well, any other questions, Wes?
No. Yeah. Anybody? Questions? Anyone?
I got a question. Why the hell are we even doing this? No, I'm just kidding. This is fun. I look forward to doing this. And tell a friend, make sure you hit the like button. I should say that at the beginning, and all that stuff, because it registers well with YouTube. So anyway, now what about next week, Wes? What's going on? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. We've been doing it on Wednesday for the last couple of weeks, so should we just do it on Wednesday next week? Well, I mean, we'll have to do it Wednesday the week following week, because we're probably not going to do it on Thanksgiving, right?
Right. Well, then let's keep it Wednesday for another 2 weeks.
So, yeah. So next Wednesday would be, well, yeah, 16th. Yeah, okay. Next 2 weeks.
Okay. Very good.
Hopefully.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Here's our sign off. Little variation.
What is the Manuel is asking the name of that song?
The Fishing Hole. It's the theme from Andy Griffith. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks again for joining me. And Wes and Gail, thank you for doing all your hard work. If you want, send a little tip to Wes. He'd appreciate it.
You can find the info in the description of this video. There's a link for a tip. So
link
awesome.
for the tip. I got a tip for you. Get here
Me
early.
too. Yeah. It's just, why am I stop doing this ASAP?
Okay, we'll see you later. Thanks again. Adios.